Now to a Situation Room one-on-one. Quote, Cuomo might have a chance of winning, end quote. That's what President Trump says about the mayoral race in his birthplace of New York City. That is, if Cuomo is the only candidate facing off against Democratic candidate Zohran Mamdani in November. The current mayor, Eric Adams, and Republican Curtis Sliwa are also in the race. Joining us now, New York's former Democratic governor and the current independent mayoral candidate, Andrew Cuomo. Governor, thanks so much for joining us. You argue that, quote, and I'm quoting you now, Trump and Mamdani share the same tactic: inflame and polarize, then declare moderation betrayal, end quote. You also caution that, quote, far-left extremism is not a corrective to Trump's far right in a new opinion piece for the New York Daily News. If you believe that Mamdani is so similar to President Trump, why did Mamdani defeat you by nearly 13 percentage points in the June Democratic primary?
Yeah, thank you. Good to be with you, Wolf. Well, we had a Democratic primary, which, as you know, tends to be a smaller number of people who come out. And there was a very large turnout of young socialists. Mamdani is a socialist, and the Democratic Socialists, as they call themselves, nationwide, focused on the New York City mayoral. They sent in tens of thousands of people to work on his campaign, and you had an historic turnout of young people who were socialists that distorted the normal turnout. But now you're in a general election. You'll have more moderate Democrats, also independents, Republicans, and a larger turnout. And it's going to be different because he really is an extremist. And we talk about the far right all the time. You have a far left on the Democratic Party. It has been getting stronger. They call themselves socialists. And this is really the socialists trying to take over the Democratic Party, Wolf. That's what this is. And I'm a Democrat, and he's a socialist. And the socialists believe a much different gospel than the Democrats. He's anti-business. He believes government should control the means of production. Anti-police. The police should be disbanded. The police are racists. Legalize prostitution, legalize the drug trade, abolish jails. And that's just not where New Yorkers are. We're the business capital of the nation. And we want jobs and opportunity coming to New York. So he's in the wrong place with his social doctrine.
As you know, Governor, there's been a lot of rampant speculation out there that the current mayor, Eric Adams, would leave the race potentially to take up a job in the Trump administration, allowing anti-Mamdani voters to unite behind you. Mayor Adams, at a news conference, denied he's dropping out and mentioned you by name. I want you to listen to this clip of what he said.
Andrew Cuomo is a snake and a liar. I am in this race, and I'm the only one that can beat Mamdani.
What's your response to Mayor Adams?
Yeah. Look, desperate people say desperate things. I believe he may take a job with President Trump. He's an ally of President Trump. Trump basically kept Adams out of jail, if you remember, Wolf. So might he give him a job in the administration so Adams has an honorable exit? That could happen. I believe the Republicans, though, overall want Mamdani to win. If Mamdani wins, the Democrats will use him, the Republicans will use him against the Democrats all across this country. The Republicans will say, these are the Democrats. They have been taken over by socialists. They're anti-police. They're anti-public safety. They have, Mamdani is 33 years old. He's never had a real job. His first job would be mayor of New York. Imagine that level of inexperience as mayor of New York. And I believe the Republicans could take Mamdani and make him the poster child for what has happened to the Democratic Party. They've been taken over by socialists. I believe It would be very damning to the Democrats in midterms. I think you'd lose Congress people in New York. I think you could lose the governor in New York if Mamdani is the mayor. So I think the Republicans want Mamdani for their own political benefit. Yeah. Aside from that, President Trump has an ally in Eric Adams, and he may give him a job, he may not, and I don't think it matters because I don't think Adams is a viable candidate in this race.
Mamdani recently called you, and I'm quoting him now, Donald Trump's puppet. And here's what Trump said about the New York mayoral race. Listen to this, Governor.
If you have more than one candidate running against him, it can't be one. If you have one candidate, if he's the right candidate, I would say that Cuomo might have a chance of winning if it was a one-on-one. If it's not one-on-one, it's going to be a hard race.
The president, Governor, appears to be at least passively supporting you. Do you want his support? All right, I think we've lost our connection with Governor Cuomo. Let's take a quick break, resume our conversation right after this. I want to get back right now to our interview with the former New York Governor, Andrew Cuomo. We had lost the connection. We've reestablished the connection. Thanks for being patient, Governor. Thanks for staying with us. You said earlier that you believe Republicans want Zohran Mamdani, to win this race. Mamdani disagrees. He's called you Donald Trump's puppet, his word, puppet. Listen to what Trump said about the New York mayoral race. Listen to this.
If you have more than one candidate running against him, it can't be one. If you have one candidate, if he's the right candidate, I would say that Cuomo might have a chance of winning if it was a one-on-one. If it's not one-on-one, it's going to be a hard race.
The president, as you heard, he appears to be at least passively supporting you, Governor. Do you want his support?
Yeah. No, Wolf. What the president is saying is what the polls say. The polls say one-on-one, I beat Mamdani handily. So President Trump is just repeating what the polls say. I haven't sought the president's support, and I wouldn't accept the president's support. And as you know, Wolf, I think I'm probably the person who has fought with President Trump the most. I don't think there was a governor in the nation who had more hostile encounters with President Trump than I did. You covered many of them. I was governor, he was president. We went through COVID together. They were battle royales. And he sent the National Guard into 20 cities at that time, never into New York, because I stopped him. I think Mamdani would be his dream as mayor, because then it wouldn't just be President Trump, it would be Mayor Trump. He would just Bigfoot Mamdani, which he's doing in cities all across the country, by the way. He's already said that Mamdani is a threat to public safety. He's already said that Mamdani is not competent to be mayor. So he would have total license to just come into New York. And he is president of the United States. He's been very aggressive, very assertive, and he would just step right over Mamdani. Mamdani is a stooge for Trump because he wants to take over New York. He's from New York. He took over Penn Station. He's talking about taking over 9/11. He would love to be president and mayor at the same time. It would be his dream come true.
Governor, do you worry at all that the president's repeated attacks against Mamdani could actually elevate him, energize Democrats, and hurt your electoral chances?
No, I think Democrats are going to be energized. They want to come out, but Democrats want someone to defend them against President Trump. That's what Democrats want. They want someone who can stand up and fight toe-to-toe with President Trump. And I am that person, Wolf, because I have done that. I have done that repeatedly during the hardest time in this state's history, which is during COVID. And I have backed President Trump off New York many times. And that's what the Democrats want. They want someone who's going to protect them against Trump. I know what the federal government can do. I was a federal cabinet secretary. I was the HUD secretary. I worked in the White House. I understand the power of the federal government. I was governor. I was attorney general. I can go toe-to-toe with President Trump. Mamdani, again, is dangerously inexperienced. He never managed more than 5 people. He's a 2-term assemblyman. He only passed 3 bills. He had the worst attendance record in the legislature. Trump would go right through him like a knife through butter.
The former governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, thanks so much for joining us. We'll continue this conversation down the road, to be sure. Appreciate it very much. And we'll be right back.